Hello, my darling Fumination. How are you? How are we, my darlings? Are we living and are we loving? My name is Fumi Desalu-Vold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you are so very welcome indeed. And yes, I am back in London town. I flew in this morning and I'm kind of sort of half dead when I tell you, but we're still here. And if you see that little footprint over there, that's Adrian, that he did this in his class. Oh my God, about 4 or 5 years ago. I still have it. I should update it. But a lot of you keep on asking me from previous times. Hello, my darlings. How are you? Hi. For me, I just subscribed from New Zealand. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. Okay, let me put my banner up so that you can find me on TikTok as well as on Instagram. And oh my God, this Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively saga continues to go even wilder and wilder and wilder. About 3 weeks, and well, why am I following this? Because I'm all about justice. I'm all about what? Justice, and I'm always the one for the underdog. I was the same way in school. If I felt that there was some kind of injustice, I would always speak up. And again, like I have said, on previous episodes, I did not get into this saga of Justin and Blake for a very, very long time. Why? Because I didn't know the ins and outs. But one thing spoke to me was because I had seen Justin in another episode, television, daytime talk show called The Real. And I was like, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, it didn't add up. And then on top of which, I watched an interview with Blake Lively. Again, Blake Lively is not on my radar. I'm 55, she's 37. She's a beautiful blonde girl, woman, or mother of 4 children. But, she's much younger than I, a good, healthy kind of 37, 55, 18 years. So, I'm not on her radar. She's not on mine. But I did know that she did Gossip Girl. So I tried to fish around and I stumbled across, Fumi Nation gave that to me. I stumbled across a video interview of which she had done with Chester Flaw, a fellow Norwegian. For those of you that don't know, my husband is Norwegian. And so when I saw Chester Flaw, I said, what? And she was an entertainment reporter. And she had an interview with Blake Lively. It was the first time that I saw Blake Lively behave, anybody as a matter of fact, behave in the most deplorable way. And I was speechless. And that was when I kind of sort of became invested. I was surprised on both ends. I was surprised that Blake and that Justin Baldoni was involved in something like this, accused of something like this. And then I was absolutely surprised that Blake would behave in such a deplorable fashion. And so 3 weeks ago, let me pull it up if I can find it. 3 weeks ago, I had said that this was a case of the David and Goliath. I'm going to pull that up. There you go. I had actually said that this was a case of David and Goliath, with Blake being Goliath and Justin being David. For those of you that know, for those of you that don't, it is the biblical story of David and Goliath. He was a shepherd boy and he had a sling. And of course, Goliath was huge. And it was obvious, even Stevie Wonder would have seen that, you know what, David, you are going to be goosed. Comes to find out, he pulled the sling between the eyes. Goliath fell dead. And so it was the big guy who lost out on the small guy. And that was how I saw this story. It was these big celebrity Hollywood power couple, powerful friends, because Taylor Swift and the like, oh, you're not going to win this. You don't have any money. You're not going to win this. And so the Hollywood Reporter put up this. And let me put that up for you. There you go. And let me make it bigger so that you can see David and Goliath. And this time around, who was David? David was Blake. And she has her sling. where you can see the camera, because she released all of this footage to whom? None other than the New York Times. And then you've got Justin with the book, It Ends With Us, that was written by Colleen Hoover. Of course, you know, Blake's Lively don't have any filter. They can't help themselves. They cannot help themselves. And so this was the release that they made and said, Blake Lively slams sexist cover of her and Justin Baldoni amid legal battle. Blake Lively released a statement in response to a cover story depicting her legal battle with Justin Baldoni, which shows her wielding a slingshot. Let me go on to the next slide because I have them all here. Bumbaya. Blake Lively is not thrilled about a magazine cover illustration depicting her and Ryan Reynolds' legal battle with Justin Baldoni. After The Hollywood Reporter released its February 21st cover story, Blake versus Baldoni, an exclusive look behind the battle lines of Hollywood's Civil War, with a David and Goliath-like graphic showing the actress appearing to aim a slingshot armed with a cell phone. In her It Ends With Us director and co-star, she issued a statement condemning the image. The Hollywood Reporter should be ashamed of itself, Lively's reps said in a statement. The E-News, February 22nd, is affirming in this picture is outraged. Let me see if I can expand this so I can see what it says. Is outraged, outrageously insulting as it plays into every sexist thingamajig. I can't read it, but you get the gist. Let me go to the next slide. And it says the Hollywood Reporter, yeah, there you go. The Hollywood Reporter should be ashamed of itself. Lively's rep said in a statement to E! News, February 22nd, framing in this picture is outrageously insulting as it plays into every sexist trope about women who dare file a workplace complaint, turning them into the aggressor and suggesting they deserve the retaliation that comes their way. The Hollywood Reporter featured on its cover illustrations of Reynolds in his nice poor character in Deadpool of Wolverine, which Baldoni's legal team alleges in their filing is based on the director and the Jane the Virgin alum's lawyer, Brian Friedman. And that is absolutely correct. Let me go back up so that you can see it, because I didn't see it initially because it was just so focused on Blake and Justin. But you can see there in the back, you've got Ryan Reynolds, and then you've got Brian Friedman. So what do I think? Do I have anything else that it says there? Let me just double check, because I want to make sure that I say everything before I go on. And there's one more last piece here. Yes, Hollywood Reporter story covers alleges that the legal battle has been framed as the newest chapter in Hollywood's ongoing fight for gender equality, but also raises another possibility. I remember this. One that has less to do with gender equality than it does a simple cultural misunderstanding. The outlet noted that it had interviewed multiple friends and former colleagues of Baldoni, along with members of the Baha'i community, to piece together if and how this religion might have inadvertently contributed to the situation. Lively's rep said in the statement that the story is extremely offensive, and as it incredibly seems to explain away documented examples of sexual assault, because I can't read the bottom line, but I'll know better for next time. I'll make sure that I, crop it so that there's enough space. So this is the part one, because we're going to talk about something else as well. Let me say this. The audacity of Blake Lively, the audacity of you, darling. You are very tone deaf, and you have bitten off more than you can chew. That's why you're in this situation, because you've done this before and you have gotten away with it. And that was why I considered you to be the Goliath. Justin was a small fry in all of this, and you thought that you could just take away his film, of which you almost successfully did. It is very sad because further down, I realized that the original posting for the film, I'm going to show you, was this. Let me see if I can add it on stage. For the film was, it had the credits for you and Justin. But you were not satisfied with that. You wanted, no, I don't think it got pulled up. You were not satisfied with that. You wanted to take the film. You wanted him to be out of the film. You did not want him to have any credibility and input to the film. You wanted to harass him. You wanted to threaten him because you knew that he was a small fry. You went to Sony and you made complaints, loose complaints, because you really wanted it on record. You didn't want to push it. Why? I tell you why. Because from the very beginning, when Justin got this It Ends With Us film with Colin Hoover, there was a clause, because he wanted the rights for the film. There was a clause in stating that if there were any sexual harassment issues that were brought up, Justin would lose rights to the film and all of the sequels. With all of the drama that went on after the fact, not before, just to show you how successful this film was, it took $25 million to make. They have grossed $350 million. And that was before we found out what was happening behind the scenes. They reported to Sony because that was the distributor, as opposed to reporting to Screen Actors Guild, also known as SAG. It was deliberate because it was to push the buttons, but not all the way. Why? Because SAG would have what? They would have shut down that studio, that set instantly until what? Until further notice. That is just simple facts. You talk about how insensitive the Hollywood Reporter, of which they reported this particular story, not 1, 2, 3, but 4 times. They amended it. They had to word it in a certain way so that they could not be, what should I say, subpoenaed. Yeah. They don't want to be all up in this mess. They want to take their money and go, because that's what the studios do. That's what the showbiz film and everything is. Let me give you this amount of money and multiply it so that we can all become rich. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely not. If a video goes viral on my channel, I'm very happy. Why? Because I've got some kind of coin which I can pour into the brand, which I can pour into getting equipment, electricity, whatever. Maybe even a day at the spa. Let me just decompress. Everybody likes money. There's nothing to be ashamed about the money, but there is a way of how you're going to get it, because with the success of It Ends With Us, it would not just end with this film. There'll be a part 1, 2, 3, 4 of how, Lily Bloom will get married again, at how the daughter will grow up, this, that, and the third. There's money there to make. And Blakey Poo saw that from the gate, because she's of prestige. Why is she of prestige? Because she comes off a successful television show. She hasn't done anything since. But here's the catch. She's married to a Hollywood star, and they're all in WMWME, William Morris and Endeavor, because William Morris and Endeavor, 2 big, huge agencies. In the days when I was in LA, they were separate, but now they have come and, they're together now. So it's William Morris, WME, William Morris Endeavor. And so, Blakey's making a statement talking about it's insensitive because her team are not connected or in tune with what is happening today. And so they think that the old model of how they handle PR and how they handle the narrative, it still works. On the contrary, it's backfiring. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Why? Because you've got the YouTube sleuths, because you've got the TikTok sleuths, because you've got the Twitter sleuths, because you've got the Instagram sleuths. And I love every single one of you, because you come out here in these streets, in my DMs, and you keep me updated and tell me, Fumi, please put this up on your next episode. That's why I've decided that, you know what, let me come out here and give you all of the lives. You're talking about, oh my God, it's so insensitive. Excuse me? Last time I checked, Were you not and your husband, and you were in a fabulous, I love the dress, in a silver snatched in dress at the 50 SNL Awards or celebration, and you were on the red carpet? Let me tell you something. You don't have to be on any red carpet for celebrities. You don't. I was in New York, as you very well know, and it was packed with fulmination. I couldn't get through the front door. Where did I go? I went through the kitchen because I had to get down into my changing room so that I could change and be fabulous and wear all of these wonderful fulmination gowns so that I could come out and do a step and repeat with my sisters and my aunties. And it was fantastic. Oh, girl, you don't even know. I digress, but I have to tell you, I met the first African-American supermodel. She was 92 and she had all of her original, tear sheets from Jet magazine. She was also the first where they relaxed her hair. They permed her hair with a hot comb. She was there. And so, of course, I was the first supermodel for West Africa, for Nigeria. And that was how we sat. And I said, how did you become a pioneer? Baby, it's another story entirely. Pushing aside, I digress. Anyway, so this is you talking about, that they're being insensitive. It's always insensitive when it's not coming from your camp. Blake, I don't want to say it, but I have to say it. You are a manipulator, you're a thief, and you're a liar. And you have been doing this, and your team has been doing this, and you thought that you could just get rid of Justin, but you did not know that he had a millionaire investor. That was the point. That was where you just did not see it coming, and everything is backfiring. Why? Because you're using the old model. Now, I am very fair. I am very, very fair, and I've digested all of this. So I'm going to come to another part about Justin being Baha'i. I think that a lot of the crew members, his investor, as well as Jamie Heath, was also Baha'i believers. This is their culture. This is their religion. And so Blake is very upset because she feels that, Hollywood Reporter is trying to interpret it that, as a matter of fact, there's a misunderstanding, culture misunderstanding. Okay. Justin, I love you. I love you. And I know in my heart you did not do anything wrong. When I read the complete article from the Hollywood Reporter, which really depicted everything in its entirety, I don't know how you had the patience to keep going, but I think you found yourself locked in deeper and deeper and deeper. And there comes a time, for me, I have learned that as hard as it might be, there are times when you just have to let go. You let go and you move on. But also, because I am a deep soul believer, I'm born a Christian, but because I have lived different places and I've lived different cultures, I believe that we all pray to the one for good for ourselves, our family, and for all. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. Your Baha'i belief should always and truly be respected. But I do not think, Justin, going forward, that you should bring your Baha'i belief to the set, because not everybody is Baha'i, not everybody believes. Everybody has their own beliefs. Everybody has their own struggles. Everybody one person or the other can interpret that huggy, kissy can be too much. I say that because, one, I don't like to be hugged and kissed with people that I, don't necessarily know. The irony of it all, and I'm saying it here, is that is different and is hypocritical of me with my Fulmination sisters. I do not know what is happening. It's different for my Fulmination sister. It's different. Why? Because as soon as you say you're Fulmination, you are a huge part of why this channel has succeeded. I do not think that you should bring your religion. I am saying it because I want to be fair, because I feel that this is why you fell into this woman's trap. She saw your vulnerability. She saw how clean you were and how sincere you were. But the real world, You don't touchy-feely anybody. You don't. Now, I'm bringing that back in. Why? Because many of you might know Christina is Jehovah's Witness. Yes. Christina and I have been friends for 8 years, maybe going 9. I did not know Christina was Jehovah's Witness. It was over time I found out. Christina never imposed Jehovah's Witness on me. She just did her own thing. And over time, I learned how beautiful the religion is. It's really about love. It's really about, so much goodness. When I went to high school in the North, and I was in boarding school, and I lived with Muslims. Yes. And we ate, and I did the 40 days fast, and I did the 40 days of their of fasting, the 40 days of fasting. I learned what it was to be a Muslim, and I embrace it till this very day. I say that because it has nothing to do with culture. You don't even have to speak the language of another man's country, and you know that their intention is sincere. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I am married to a European. I am married to a Norwegian. Their culture is different, but the love is pure. There are no excuses for you when you try to manipulate and when you try to use the system of which you think you're so sophisticated of to weaponize another man. The red carpet that they were on, they could have missed it. They did not have to be on the red carpet. And that's something I want to say. If your wife has gone through some kind of aggression where she was sexualized and her private space was invaded, I don't think anybody would make a joke. On the contrary, I think it would be a trigger. I have my triggers. If something goes off, if I felt some kind of trauma in the past or whatever, and it comes to me, I will go off. It will trigger me off. If I don't want to mention one country because it's not that, but if a certain person, hurts your sister or whatever, and then that person brings food from that person's country, will you not be triggered? You will be triggered. You're wearing a sexy silver dress, you're smiling, you're laughing, you want to be with all of your friends. And then, of course, Ryan Lyman gets up and he's like, why? What have you heard? It's in bad taste. And it's in bad taste to those that really have gone through any kind of essay. The bottom line, Blake, you're going to lose this. On the 17th of March, I can't remember, 2026, if you go through with this, you are going to lose. The problem or the issue that I have is how many people's career are you going to kill in the process of trying to save your dying neck? That's all I gotta say. Because right now you are seen in a different light, and it had nothing to do with Justin Baldoni trying to assassinate your character. Just seeing how you behaved on Chester's Floor interview, you will find it. Just Google it. It made me realize that you are not a nice person, and it's very important to be nice when nobody is looking. You did not know, because Chesty Floor was a celebrity interviewer and journalist, I beg your pardon, and they had what do you call it, a press junket. But she was an individual, just her own, I think herself and her boyfriend, they were the only two. So again, little people. She would never have done that had it been the New York Times. Do you understand what I'm saying? It would never have been, if it was Vanity Fair, if it was Hello Magazine, if it was Oprah Winfrey, she would never have done this on a Steven Spielberg film. But we can do this with the little people, with the people that do not have the accolade the accolade like she has. I'm going to swing back to Justin, because I heard this on another YouTuber's channel. He was mainstream. I've forgotten something Bush. Billy Bush. Is it Billy Bush? I think so. I think so. And he said something which was so phenomenal. He said, the obstacle is the way. Meaning that, Justin, look for the goodness in this. It's a very tough lesson that you are learning. And you are learning this. Why? Because I truly believe that your Baha'i culture, which is phenomenal and beautiful, it was taken advantage of. That was your weak link. And that is part and whole of why you are here. Don't ever change. No, 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 no. But what you will do is that you are now aware. And everybody, including myself, I did not know your name. I knew your face. You will be known. You are known worldwide. And it will be bad for a while. And then it will get better. Well, that wasn't only that in the Hollywood Reporter. Why did we have Jenny Slate out here in these streets also talking about she has some kind of hold on, yes, that's her. Yes, she had some kind of reporting. She wasn't pleased with what had happened, with James Heath. And so she also let Sony know. And I don't know why they were going to Sony, or maybe I do know. I think that they were doing that deliberately because they wanted it on record, because they were going to use this to muscle in on what they were going to do further down. What is this? This is the apartment of Jenny Slate. Jenny Slate had an apartment in New York, of which she rented. Jenny Slate had a toddler. Let me just make this a little bit up here. There you go. This was the apartment that she had rented. Okay. And we're going to read it in a minute. And so what happened was, she wasn't happy with the apartment for one reason or the other. You know how toddlers are, and so you kind of feel some kind of way. I didn't like touching, hugging this is Michelle, I'm reading from the comment section. I did not like touching, hugging when I had just given birth, breastfeeding my baby. Never mind being on a movie set. My hormones would have been all over the place. That's what I'm trying to say. What Michelle is saying is 1,000,000,000% correct. Not only that, my chest was tender, if you know what I mean. I didn't like to be touched. Even, baby Adrian, you understand me, dragging on me. Your hormones are all over the place. And like I'm saying, because I want to be fair, I sat back and I was just trying to understand, how did they get here? Again, the weakest link. They're Baha'i culture. They're Baha'i religion. Because it's all about love. It's all about, talking about, something personal every day in a board meeting. In a board meeting, that can be great in an art class. That can be great in a model class. We are artists. We think differently. But when you're in a board meeting, clickety-click, clickety-clack, it's his time. People are in suits. They're coming here to negotiate numbers. They're not feeling it. Is it offensive? No. But it makes you look a little crazy. What's wrong with these folks? Are they bohemians? No, again, nothing wrong with bohemians. But we know our tribe. And because I have danced on both dance floors, I can see how that could have come across and why they were taking this as offensive. Let us get to the next chapter, which brings me to what you call Jenny Slate. And here we go. Jenny Slate filed, it ends with us complaint over producers' comments about motherhood. Are you kidding me? But here we are. So let us jump to the next slide and let me open this up. There we go. It wasn't just Baldoni who ran into issues when interacting with cast members. The Hollywood Reporter has learned more about the nature of the complaint that it ends with us actress Jenny Slate lodged. which is referenced in court documents, but with Slate's name redacted. Remember, I told you that they changed this like 4 or 5 times because they had to word it in such a way that it wasn't as if Jenny Slate filed a complaint. Because right now, Jenny Slate is holding her toddler and saying, you know what, I don't want to be deposed. Sis, you're going to be deposed. I digress. Let us move on. It stemmed from an interaction with Heath, and that's Jamie Heath, about the apartment Slate had rented in New York City, where It Ends With Us was shooting. Slate, who has a toddler, told him she wasn't thrilled with the space she had rented, but that moving was not an option because she didn't want to lose the sizable security deposit, around $15,000. Heath informed Slate that Wayfair, because that's the company now, would reimburse her for the lost security deposit so she could find better accommodations. But apparently, he made the offer. Listen now. He made the offer using the language that made Slate uncomfortable. Sources say he focused intensely on the sanctity of motherhood and Slate's role as a mother. According to sources, Sony became aware of Slate's concern and informed Wayfarer about them. A spokesperson for Slate did not return multiple requests for the comment. According to a source, Heath has a different understanding of the interaction. He's told people that even Wayfair offered a kind gesture, and it was what? It was weaponized against them. Let me move on. Again, like I said, this is their apartment, yeah? There is nothing in the sacred Baha'i text on how to behave on a movie set. There's nothing that addresses how to collaborate with an A-list movie star. But whether it was from his religion, his natural personality, or his self-admitted neurodivergence referenced in the court documents, people who have worked with Baldoni say that he tends to be differential, sometimes what? Too much so. Everybody is valuable, no matter where you are in the hierarchy of the production, says a source who worked on 5 Feet Apart of Baldoni's interpersonal directorial style. Everyone had the ability to bring up any concerns that are happening in our community. He liked to use the term community. The difference, not surprisingly, opened up a power vacuum on the set It Ends With Us, and lively sources say was more than happy to step in that vacuum. As the director and star of It Ends With Us, whose production company financed the film, Baldoni certainly had a fair amount of power. But Baldoni is not an A-lister, sure. He made a name for himself on the television show Jane the Virgin, and he has since directed 3 features, an episode of Jane the Virgin, and some short documentaries. Lively, on the other hand, had been a bona fide movie star for more than a decade. She's on the short list of actresses prominent enough to convince the studio to greenlight a project, and with husband Ryan Reynolds, one of the most bankable actors in Hollywood, compromised one of the most formidable couples in the industry. According to several sources, Reynolds has been extremely active over the past few weeks, calling around to try and drum up as much support as he can among the industry friends and colleagues. What did I say? What did I say? This was the reason why they did this. My personal advice to Jenny Slate, watch your next step. Because in you trying to defend Blake Lively, you're going to lose your career. If you had any issue whatsoever with Jamie Heath, you should have come up with that a long time ago, to the point where when Blake was coming with all of these allegations, you would have stepped in and said, while we're on the subject, this and that happened. I find it very hypocritical of Jenny Slate. Why? Do you know that she took the 15,000? She took the 15,000 and still she made a complaint. It does not sound anything legit to me. And what are you complaining about? That he said something, that he did this, he did that. It's all lies. It's all lies. This is deliberate because Blake needs support, because she's dying out here in these social media streets and she cannot see. It's like quicksand. She's stomping instead of you just to stay still. Translation, keep quiet. Just keep quiet. Don't say one more word. But she keeps on digging herself deeper and deeper, and she cannot believe what is happening. Well, I think that the reality is going to kick in because her bestie, none other than Taylor Swift, wants no parts. Taylor Swift has built a multi-billion industry brand for herself, of which her father was a great contribution to. She's not about to lose it because of you, Blakey Poo. She's not. No, 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 no. Plantation Princess, Plantation Khaleesi, she's not going to lose it for you because everybody, including Stevie Wonder, can see that you are going all the way downhill. It would be best for you to release a statement and say that upon reflection, perhaps I bit off more than I could chew. Perhaps I assumed, use the Baha'i religion and say that perhaps there was, as a matter of fact, Hollywood Reporter did it for you. And say, you know what, I didn't see it the way it was. My hormones were all over the place. Yes, they will give you that. I was pregnant at 49. And I give every woman that is pregnant the ultimate salute. The ultimate salute. Your body is not yours. And as the baby gets bigger and bigger, you cannot hold your pee because the baby is sitting on the bladder. You can barely eat more than this. Towards the end, my God, you cannot move. For women that go to work, they work around, and they still mind over matter to take care of other little children and their husband and their crazy in-laws. It's unbelievable. I don't know how you do it, because I kept my pregnancy quiet for 8 months of my pregnancy. I announced it towards the end, and majority of the time I was sleeping. I could barely move. If I got up from the bedroom and had my bath, that was a good day. So after having the child, you have to understand all of those hormones are there, raging, and it is worse for some than others. Pregnancy is different. Even a mother will tell you one pregnancy is different from yet another pregnancy, and they all came from the same womb. Blake, this was manipulative. The bottom line, every step of the way, I have checked, I have double checked, and I will keep on coming with one episode after the other. You bit more than you could chew. You are very lazy. That's another thing, because you have productions, you even have writers that come with their pieces that you can read. While we're talking about reading, she never even read It Ends With Us. That's why it's going to end with you. We have an African proverb: every day for the thief, one day for the owner. The people that are celebrities today is becoming more and more glaringly obvious that they've overstayed their time. That's why it's all burning down, because you rob the little person and you're a fraud, and you go out onto the red carpet and you claim it to be yours. The production poster that they had, the one that I saw at the very end, I didn't even pay attention to it. There was no Blake there. There was no Justin. It was only Blake Lively with her name there. And I will never forgive you. I will never. She took the money. Yes, she took the money. That's Low Chats with Madeline. I love the name Madeline. Yes, she took the money, girl. She took the 15,000. So this is what I don't like. You come out here and you just tell lies, and it insults our intelligence, because one or two people will say, is it just me, or this mathing is not mathing? Then you have Jenny Slate, who comes out talking about, oh, I felt uncomfortable. But you went to him, or you had the conversation. You were comfortable enough to sit with him and say, oh my God, 15,000, that deposit, I won't get it back, but I'm not happy with the place. And he volunteered. He said, forget the money, miss. And while we're talking about forget the money, you do know that upon Jenny Slate taking the 15,000, you do realize all of us, that whoever her landlord was did not eat the whole 15,000 deposit, that he must have given her half. So on top of the 15,000 that she got, non-refundable from Wayfarer, she might have gotten the very minimum, 7,000. But when I add that up, if I can add, that's 22K. Right there, you can buy half a Birkin. She took the money. She took the money left. She took the money right. On that accord, you are dishonest. You are you really are a bad egg. Jenny Slate, I am saying that. You know why? Because you capitalized. No. Sorry. You aligned with your fraudster friend to kill someone that did not deserve it. If Justin did not have the receipts, let's really think about it for real. If Justin did not have the receipts, nobody would have believed him. She would have ruined this man's life. She would have ruined the lives of his children and fractured their marriage because you saw the potential in a film of which you did not read, of which you did not take any part just to show up, be an actress. When you saw the potential, you wanted it. And in wanting it, you were prepared to destroy this man's life to get it. You see, it's one thing if you go there, but you told us that I will pretend I only want to be an actress, and then when I get there, I want to volunteer all of my skills. Sis, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're not in the Directors Guild, last time I checked. You are not there. You're not in the Writers Guild, last time I checked. You're an actor. And that is because we have many actors who they had those one-hit wonders, or they were on this big show, so many shows, and we haven't heard from them since. You are drinking from yet another river because of your husband, because of Deadpool. You're talking about Insensitive, how they made fun of you about a serious a sexual allegation. But your husband was on Deadpool, and he was writing in scenes, making fun of Justin Baldoni. Everybody was making fun of him. You put his family, you put his mother, his father, his friends. There was somebody who pointed it out to me that there was a woman who had cancer, and he had brought her on to watch the film, which was not even his finish. It was Blake's finish, because they had two edits. And Sony let Justin know that, listen here, we will have to put in Blake's edit. And even with that, we have to arrange how you're on the red carpet. You come on first, and we will let you know when Blake is coming, and then you have to go down to the basement. Why go down to the basement? I will tell you why. And it has happened to me because I've been on both sides. You see, when you lie, you see when you're dishonest, you see when you have destroyed somebody else's life, you see when you know you're wrong, you know when you're guilty, you know that you did bad, it is extremely difficult to look into the victim's eyes. Blake and co did not want Justin there, not because she didn't feel safe, but because she could not look at him and look at what she had done. That's why. She didn't mind. That was why she did that. Ryan went along with it because, as we have heard, Ryan's teacher, I think, brought out an old, because somebody took a screenshot and sent it to me, but that would be another episode because we're going to go a deep dive, and said this has been Ryan all along. He has pretended, he has lied, he has manipulated. The grandparents couldn't take care of him. The parents dumped him with the grandparents and took off because God knows they needed a chat. They needed a break. They needed a break to chat and be, together away from Ryan. And you have to understand, Blake is the youngest of 3 girls, and there's 10-year gap. So she was spoiled rotten. I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. And I'm telling you that for her to have been this bold, to have this kind of kahunas, is because baby girl had done it before. But you see, again, whether you are Baha'i, whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, whether you are Jehovah, we all pray to one God, but we interpret it differently. And our God said, not this time around. And so the whole thing has hit the fan. And you keep on trying to dig yourself out of this, and it's not working. If Blake, because she amended her complaint, and everybody was waiting for it, there was nothing in there. Do you not think that if Blake had something solid, my beautiful plantation princess, for those of you who keep on asking, why do I call her plantation princess? Because in the last days of Black History Month, homegirl went to go and have a wedding on a black plantation. Tone deaf. Tone deaf. Tone what? Tone deaf. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. Who cares? Is that, you know, what's the word I am looking? You are so entitled. You think you're so entitled. And that is why we are where we are. And that is why everybody is talking about this. Everybody is talking about this because we are redirected to the kind of people that Blake and Ryan are. Why are you looking for support? If you are innocent and this was really unjust, people would be flocking your way the way they are flocking to Justin. And that's what they can't understand. Now they have said they want to subpoena all of his phone records from 2-3 years ago. Why is that? Because I tell you, they're looking for any discrepancy that is not even related to the film, just to put Justin in bad light. They're looking for anything. But Brian Friedman is one hell of a lawyer, and I live and I love. And he said, we will not settle. You will apologize. You will what? You will apologize. You will have to clean up his name. You have dirtied up his name. You have William Morris, Ari, I've forgotten his last name, who owns WME. And he was there talking about baloney, trying to be just silly as far as I am concerned, because the monies are with Brian, with Ryan and Blake. Oh, you know what? They're so charitable. They give millions of dollars every year. What are you talking about? It's all written off taxes. Yeah, that's what you do. When you hit a certain X bracket, they do that because it's written off. There's no great gesture here. Everything is about self. There's no great gesture. And the more and more this unravels, what's happening is that it is unraveling Hollywood. And we are seeing that all of this was a narrative of what they were feeding us. That's it. That is it. There is nothing left to be said. I will come up here everyday lives. You guys let me know. I will come up here everyday lives and we will talk about this. I am very passionate about justice. I'm very passionate about when it's right, it's right. When it is wrong, it's wrong. I don't mind. It's part of the reason why, even if I'd done law, I think I would have been pro bono. The second I know that you cannot afford it, forget about it. I'll do the work for free because I don't like injustice. I think to myself every single time, if this was Adrian, who would have helped him? This boy has parents that are not sleeping at night. And they are worried, this is so much. Can you handle? Can you this? Can you that? It is very evil. Very evil. It's the 7 years of the fat farming, and they want to continue to eat, even when they don't produce, even when they don't grow. You go around and you steal people's work. Why? You have to give credit. That's why I tell you, I say, you know what? If I got this from this other YouTuber, if I got this from another, and that's why I read a lot of the articles. It didn't come from me. It came from somewhere. Everybody can win. Everybody can eat. But some people don't want to. That's just the bottom line. I'll be here tomorrow, my darlings. Let us read some of your questions here. Thank you for showing up. I hope you enjoyed it. Hi, Auntie Fumi. You subscribed. Thank you. Please subscribe. Auntie Fumi, can you please say hi to me? Kes Burus. Hi, Kes. How are you? I live and love you, Case. Thank you for the love and support. Welcome home. Thank you from Cape Town, South Africa. I made a live. Yes, you did. Don't forget to get super chats as well. We appreciate it all. Happy Wednesday. Thank you, my darlings from South Africa. South Africa, I am so honored. She was so good at the interview. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. And I'm very happy because Chester Flaw, I think she got fired. She got fired from a job, or she was trying to get into a union and she couldn't. And I'm so happy that she's here in the YouTube community and you're showing her all of the love. Hello, Auntie. It is called David versus Goliath. Yes, my darling. David versus Goliath. But you get the gist of it. But thank you, my darling. Lord chats. Yeah. She was arrogant and she was rude to the interview. Hello, Fumi. I'm supporting you from Jamaica. Yes, thank you so very much. I went to what is it called again now? To your waterfall when I was in Jamaica. Yes, I've been to Jamaica and I have a certain very, very special love for you guys. Wait, so the Hollywood Reporter painted Blake as David because in that article she had a slingshot. Yes, because you see the roles have been turned. I depicted Blake as Goliath because she was the big honcho. Because if it was not for Justin's millionaire supporter, Blake would not Justin would not be here. Justin would not be here. And another thing before I go, I'm happy I went through this. This is what Blake does. It is called Darvo. I'm learning out here in these streets and I wanted to share this with you. I'm going to put it up here. It's a manipulation tactic. And here you have, let me just expand it here. There you go. You have D, and that's the predator denies whatever wrongdoing they are being accused of doing. Then there's the attack. The perpetrator attacks the other person by questioning their mental health, honesty, and actions. In this case, as far as I'm concerned, that goes to his Baha'i religion. Reverse victim offender. The perpetrator attempts to switch roles with the victim. Instead of accepting responsibility for their actions, they try to make the original victim into the perpetrator. That is exactly Blake Lively. Darvo to the hilt. And then, of course, you have the narcissist, her husband, who thinks that I can do anything and I can get away with it. And that was how they bullied their agent, because I think WME, they were all under the same representation, but Ari dropped Wayfair, Ari dropped Justin, even though they were pulling in money, even though they were making money. What a disgrace. And that's why, because the bigger honchos are making more money. Why are they making more money? Because we have been fed a narrative that is an absolute lie. And so it has been going on, and they've been raking in the money. And they put some money to this side, and then they put some money to that side. Oh, let me donate. Let me put some to the donation. Taxes. The IRS, go and do a deep dive, and you will see how they manipulate the system so that they can come on the red carpet and talk nonsense. And the dresses are for free. And that is how she spent over $600,000 in a film. Quite as is kept, I will say this. Jenny Slate's character, chef's kiss. Her wardrobe on the film, fabulous. They were showing it on the plane for United Airlines, and they sponsored. First time I lived and loved it. When I tell you, I was like, oh wow. And I watched it again, and the movie did not make sense. It didn't patch up. As beautiful as it was, I loved the film, but I want them to take that down, and I want to see the version of Justin's. That's all I've got to say, my darlings. I've got to go and make dinner. I will be here tomorrow, and we continue with this. I'll be out here in the streets every day. You also let me know what you also want me to talk about, because I think I'll just be doing lives. I love the interaction. I really hope Isabella Ferreira sees the light. Do you think she will for me? She's very young. That's a very show. I can show it up here. Oh, I'm learning, because I'm doing my lives rather differently now. And so Ula is an IT guy. So I am now on, what do you call it now? It's a StreamYard. I use StreamYard and I just love it. And you're able to pull up pictures. I'll put up videos and all of this, and we can interact. And so Michelle J says, I really hope Isabella Ferreira sees the light. Do I think she will? I don't know. And again, it's personal for me because I found out that Isabella is an only child. Isabella is an only child like Adrian. Adrian's an only child, and he loves going to school because he can play with the other kids. And when you love bomb on somebody, you don't know which way you're going, but you take it all in. She's a girl who doesn't have siblings. She doesn't have family around. And this young girl is being played like a fine violin with this 37-year-old woman who has 4 kids. You see, I'm busy. I only have 1 child and I'm busy. I don't have time to be running around with 23-year-olds. She love bombed her because she knew she was going to use Isabella's naivete further down. And I want to tell Isabella here and now, baby girl, step up out of this. This is bigger than you. It's got nothing to do with you. And this woman called Blake Lively does not care for you. She gave you her shoes. She gave you her clothes. You've been running around. This is your first film. Do not make it the last, because Blake is going down and you will go down with her and you will never come up. It's the beginning for you. Step up out of this. And when they subpoena you, because they will, you will be deposed. Tell them the truth. The truth is going to be your saving grace. People can forgive. We don't forgive when you're trying to manipulate. That's all I can say. I don't have anything else to say, but I'll give you free advice. Speak the truth and get out of this. It's got nothing to do with you. All right, my darlings, I love you so very much, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Oh, I think I have one more. I have one more here. Somebody said, let me just answer. Will you be covering the Saga Awards fashion? Let me see if I can. I want to. Maybe I have to take this off. How do I take this off? Wait, hold on. There you go. Show. Voila. Will I be covering the Saga Awards fashion? Yes. Should we go live? Let me know. Okay, I think we can do it tomorrow. Why not? Let's do the Saga Awards tomorrow, day after. And I will do, please, for me, when are you coming to Jamaica? Let me know. The water, yes, the Duns River, that is it. The Duns River. I would love to. We will come, Mama. And we'll come with Adrian. We're just letting Adrian finish school a little bit. And we come. I miss my family so much. I miss my family when I travel. It's just too much for me. You know, I really miss them. But absolutely, we'll travel. There, you know, I appreciate you guys so very much. All of my loves, my darlings. Let me just make sure. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay, darlings. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do SAG Awards, or if anything comes up with the, you know, Blake Baldoni case, don't hesitate whatsoever. Jump it in my DMs. I check it every morning, and we'll be good to go. All of my love. Bye.